Okay, the next step is to start copying and pasting and inserting the Reloom components and content into the website. So the first step that we're going to do is actually make sure that the Webflow project have all of these pages so that we can paste the components right into them. So let's see how we're going to do that. So homepage, obviously we've got that by default. Now the next page is classes. So let's go ahead here, add a new page from the pages panel, new page, and we're going to call this classes. All right, I'm going to create this page. What else we've got? The next one that we have is class details, and this is basically what happens when we choose a class and we choose to learn more. And this is actually a dynamic page because we have different pages for each one of the CMS classes. So we actually already have that. We have classes template, so that is already set up. Then we have the instructors page. So let's go ahead and add a new page for instructors. Create that page. What other pages we have? We have the yoga handbook. So that's another page that we need. New page. The yoga handbook. Okay. Handbook. Okay. Fantastic. Anything else that we have? No, we have this pop-up, but it's actually inside of the classes page, so it doesn't require another page. So we are basically good to go. So now that we have all of these pages, and by the way, I can rearrange them and take the style guide and put it at the bottom because we won't be using it as frequently. So I can go ahead and drag it, or maybe drag it. Okay, finally it works. Okay, so let's get started with the home page. And remember, we have this page wrapper and structure that we want to maintain for everything to work correctly. So we're going to pick the page wrapper and paste everything within here. Let's start with the home page. Now, because this homepage was already designed with Reloom in mind, we're actually going to have a very easy life because we can just pick out the component that we want to bring in. And you can see here that we have navbar 11. So we immediately know which component we need to bring in. So let's go ahead into our Reloom. And I'm going to do this with the extension, but you can also go here and maybe look for navbar nav 11. Let's search that, nav 11. Yep, that's what we need. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to make sure that it's copied. I'm going to go here into the main wrapper and I'm going to paste it. That's great. So, and you can see here that for some reason, some classes were actually renamed, and we're going to have to fix that. So we're going to take care of that in just a moment, but we have the navbar. Let's see what we have afterwards. We have header 1. Let me go back here and let me do header 1. And let's see which one of them. It's probably this one. So I'm going to go ahead and copy. I'm going to go ahead into the main wrapper and make sure that it pastes after the navbar. So we have that one. And you can already see that we've done great work because we already have the heading correct. For some reason, this comes back as button number 2. So we're going to fix that. We're going to remove this class and just give it a class of button. And then the buttons are going to look good as well. Again, I'm not sure why this is not by default button, but let's do button and then is secondary if we need it actually to be even secondary. I'm not sure we actually have 2 buttons here, so we don't. Okay, let's continue. So this one is layout 7. And as you can see right now, it's just a little, you can say boring, but actually technical, just copy and pasting layout 7. Let's see, it's probably this one. But in a second, once we finish that, I'll show you how we make sure that everything is organized and we clean it up a little bit. So now we have this because you will notice that we have here some things that we actually don't need here, and some of these things look a little bit different, so we're going to have to switch these around. Next one is testimonial 7. Let's go here, search for testimonial 7. Nope, because I got a typo, testimonial 7, copy that. Make sure you're always pasting inside the main wrapper. And you can see we have the names here, so we know we're pasting the right thing. And next we have contact 29. Let's go ahead and do that. Contact 29. Copy that. Paste it in the main wrapper. And next, CTA 29. All right, so CTA 29. Copy that. And I remind you that if you do want to search these things here, CTA 29, you can find it here and you can copy it directly from this website if you don't like to install Chrome extensions. Let's go here into the main wrapper. Then we have this one. And lastly, we have the footer, which is footer 7. Okay, so let's do footer 7. Copy that and paste it. Okay, so we have basically the structure for the home page ready. Now we're going to do a few things here. Number one thing that we want to do is we want to turn the nav bar into a component so that we can reuse this on all pages, because soon we're going to copy everything that we have here and paste it on all pages. And I want to make sure that the nav bar and basically all the components that we're going to reuse are going to be components. So let's make sure that we're choosing this one here, the component, and we can go here into actually create a component. Let's call this nav bar. So this one is a component right now. You can see it turned into green. We can also choose the component right here. We're going to make sure again that you're not picking something inside of this section, because they have a lot of wrappers going on, and we'll learn how to work with that very soon. But right now we want to make sure that the whole section is being turned into a component. So I'm going to select the footer. I'm going to turn that into a footer. Actually, this one here, this call to action section, is also basically being used in almost all pages. So we're going to turn that into a component as well. So section, I'm going to call this CTA, call to action, create. Okay, so now we have our components. Let's go back to the main page. We have our component. We have the main structure. Let's go ahead now and basically just copy the page wrapper into, I'm going to make sure that I copy this because I want to have the same structure, including the global style and a main wrapper on all pages. So I'm going to make sure that I copy that page wrapper. I'm going to go into my classes page. I'm going to pick the body and paste it. So now we have this. Let's paste this in the instructors as well. Let's go into the, we're in the instructors, pick the body, paste it here. Go into the yoga handbook, paste it here. And lastly, we're going to go into the classes template and we're going to paste that here as well. Okay, let's go back into the second page, the classes page, and start actually replacing the content. So what do we have here on the classes page? So I'm going to go here and actually open up the navigator and delete everything that I don't need. I will need the nav bar, CTA, and footer on this page as well. So I'm just going to delete the content and pick the main wrapper, and let's see which one I'm going to add here. So I'm going to select this one here and see that this one is called header 33. So let's go here. Actually, you know what? Let's try and copy it. I think it's going to be easier to just copy from here. So header 33, copy. Go back here, main wrapper. And now I want to make sure that I place it in the right place after the nav bar. So this is this. What else we have here? Next one is product 10. Product 10. Copy. And go back here and paste this up. note what happened. I accidentally pasted the product 10 inside of this header section, and that's not what I want. I want to make sure that you're pasting in the right place, so put it afterwards. So this is good. And what else we have? So we have this. Now we have, this one is called Team 17. So Team 17, copy that. Copied. Want to make sure, again, pick the main wrapper, paste inside. Again, it's been pasting, I think, inside here. Where is it? Again, it pasted product 10 components, so that's not what I want. Let me go back and copy Team 17. Let me actually pick the body and see if it's, yeah. So it's pasted here, and I'm going to bring it inside here. So we've got the team. And then we have layout 12. That's the last one that we have here. So let's do layout 12. Copy that. For safety's sake, I'm going to paste this in the body, and then again, I think pasted and nothing happens. Again, paste it in here. So you want to be mindful. Sometimes the pasting doesn't paste where you want it. Make sure that now they're all neatly lined up inside of the main wrapper. And this page is also done. All right, let's see what next page we have. Okay, so by the way, this seems boring and you can go ahead and skip this, but later on I'm going to clean this up and make sure that the structure is exactly like the structure that we want. So you might want to catch that one. So now we are in the, what page? We're in the instructors page. So let's see, what do we have here? Instructors, not the class detail, instructors. Here we have this section, which is called header 80. First of all, let's delete everything that we don't need in this page. So delete, delete, delete everything that is not navbar and CTA, and do header 80. Copy that, paste it in the body, but make sure that I bring it here after the navbar. So this is really neat. You see, we already have this kind of like effect built outside of the box. We just need to place in the images. So this really is a huge time saver. What else do we have here? Instructor, this one is Team 12. Let's go here, Team 12. Copy that. Okay, go back, body, paste. I'm not seeing it, so it was pasted inside of this. Again, don't know why, but it's now here. Core team, fantastic. And afterwards we have layout 71. Layout 71. Copy that. Let's click on the body. Let's paste. And where is it? It's somewhere inside where it's not supposed to be. Here it is. Section layout 71. Take it out. Put it after team. Fantastic. After layout 71, we have the testimonial. Actually, you know what? Testimonial is the same one that we have on the homepage. So a good idea would be to go back to the homepage and actually turn that into a component as well. So let's open up this, select the testimonial section, turn that into a component, testimonial. And now that we have this as a component, we can go back into our instructors and just add this component here. Actually, let's go into our components, into our testimonial, and drag it out. Not here, but between them. Just make sure that it's between. Let's see where it was pasted. Yep, exactly. Testimonials just before the call to action. That is true. So this page is now done. Next one is the Yoga Handbook. Let's go ahead and do that. Yoga Handbook. Let's go and clean out everything that we don't need here. Tuck, 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 tuck. And what do we have here at the top? This one is header 15. So let's search that. Header 15. Copy that. Copied. Select the main wrapper. Paste that. That one is here. Next section is layout 405. Layout 405. Copy. Done. Main wrapper, paste. I'm not seeing it. Here it is. For some reason, paste it inside. Okay, so we have layout 405. After that, we've got pricing 1. Pricing 1. Copy that. And we are going to paste that in here. Again, it was pasted not in there. Where was it pasted? Or not at all? Not pasted at all? No, here it is. Pasted inside section pricing inside of the header. I don't know why, but let's bring it out here. So now we have the pricing section. And then just call to action. But the call to action is actually different. It's not the Elevate Your Practice Explorer. It's to buy. So we're going to bring in CTA 17. CTA 17. Copy that. And let's go ahead and paste that in here. And yeah, basically we are done. Okay. Last page that we have, I think, is the dynamic page, the class details. So let's go ahead and do that. So classes template in here, delete everything that we don't need. Check, check, check. Main wrapper, what do we have here? This one is called Portfolio Header 6. Portfolio Header 6. Copy that. And let's paste it in here. Put it after the navbar. This is great. Content number 2. So this is basically 2 times that we have content number 2. So let's do content 2 and copy that and go ahead into the page wrapper. 1, 2, bring it up here, bring it up here. Fantastic. What is this? CTA 57. All right, so let's do CTA 57. Got that. Okay. And we are done. We are done. Yep. So in this one, we don't have the normal CTA. So I'm going to delete that. We're only going to have this CTA and then the footer, the pop-up model. We're going to take care of that later. Okay. So basically at this point, we've imported all of the components. Now, not all of them look exactly like we need them. So at this pace, now we basically have another step, which is copying the texts from our Figma file and cleaning up the file. So let's go ahead and start doing this together. And again, if you want to go ahead and skip it because it's not very exciting to do a bunch of copying and pasting. Actually, so before I'm doing the copy and pasting, which is boring, let's actually walk through what needs changing. So for example, here in the home page, this nav bar by default has this drop-down menu and it has 2 buttons, and we can see that the buttons don't look like they need to look like. And in our case, we only have 3 pages that are not drop-down. So we need to do a little bit of cleanup. So let's go ahead and do that. And it's important to know how to delete stuff so that you don't ruin the whole structure. So I'm going to double click on the nav bar and try to open up basically the navigator to see how things are structured here. So basically let's see, we have these links which are in the menu, and then we have this drop down menu, and then we have these 2 buttons. Okay, so the drop down menu, we don't need it. So I'm going to select the drop down. I'm going to hit return to delete this. Buttons, do we need the buttons? No, we actually don't need the call to action buttons. So I'm going to delete the whole wrapper that holds them together. So we have buttons. So now this is actually okay. I can even copy the text. And by the way, if you're in Figma and you're not familiar with Figma, because these things are grouped, you can see if I click here, it's going to select the whole nav bar. I can hold the command or control to just hit the select the text within this group and then double click it if I want to copy the text from here, classes. So I can go ahead and paste it here. And what I want to do is also connect this link to the right page. So from the settings panel, I'm going to go here into the nav link setting, not to an external page, but to a page. And this is going to be to the classes page. The next one is going to be the instructors. So let's go ahead and do the instructors and connect that to not a phone, to a page, which page, instructors, and the last one, yoga handbook. Paste that one here and page yoga handbook, not the style guide, yoga handbook. All right. So basically the navigation is complete. We're going to take care of how it looks in the logo a little bit later on. Now in here, let's see, we only need one button and it needs to be the brown button, the Ascent button. So we do have this button. This button we don't need. So let's delete it. And in this case, you can see we have a button group. I don't want to delete the whole button group. I just want to delete this button. So I'm going to delete this one here. All of the rest looks great. In the next section, so we have two things that going on here. Here we have the image on the left. So let's see, and here we have the image on the right. Let's see how this is structured. So you can see here, it's already showing me the whole structure of this layout. And again, because this is built with client first, there's a lot of wrappers here to control the spacing and stuff like that. So you can see we have the section inside, we have padding global, and then we have container large, and then we have a padding of the section, and then we have a grid layout component. You can see it's a grid by this icon here. And then we have the content and the image wrapper. So actually, I think that the easiest way to kind of move this to the left side is just to move this up, because the way that grids are arranged is they're always going to take the divs and arrange them from the top left, right, left, right, left, right. So the first div that's in here, it's going to be on the left side, and the second one is going to be on the right side. You can also, by the way, hit the, edit grid, or just move this whole div, select this div and kind of like move it. If we select this layout content, move this around like this, or drag this outside. No, you see now I've completely ruined the grid. So let me undo that. Don't want to move this around. We've done that the easy way. We have the first one as the image, the second one is the content. In the content, we do have a tagline, we do have a headline, and then the text, and then one button. So we don't have these two bullet points thing. So let's see how that is structured. So inside of the layout, inside the content, we have margin, and then heading. So we have, okay, margin button for the text, and then heading, and then here we have the text. So again, they're wrapping it in this margin button to arrange the spacing. And then we have another grid of item lists. This we don't need at all, so I'm just going to delete this grid. And in the button group that we have here, I actually don't need the second button, so let's delete it. And yeah, this one is a secondary button, but because this got the button 2 class here, let's fix that. This is button 2 is secondary. I can't change this one, so I'm just going to delete both of them and just do button and is secondary. And now we have the right button in place. And we want to make sure that we work consistently with the button that we want to work with. This is basically the testimonials. We're going to arrange that later on. Nothing I need to change here, and nothing I need to, I guess, change here. This also makes sense. What do we have here? So here in this call to action one, actually by default, this has a video background to it, the call to action section. So I'm going to double click that. And let's open up and see how it's structured. So inside the call to action section, there's this padding global with container, and this one CTA background video wrapper. I don't want this. I don't want a video background, so I'm just going to delete that. But now it has kind of like a clean background with white text on it, so we're not seeing anything. So what I do want to do is I want to give this whole section a background color of this Ascent background color. Now you will remember when we edited the style guide that we did create a class for this background. So if I'm just going to add a combo class here, a modifier to this, and I'm going to write background, you can immediately see that we have background color Ascent, background color black, gray, and white. These are the ones that we have created. So I'm just going to use this one, background color Ascent, and ba-bam, that's exactly what we wanted. So you can see it's very easy to reuse the classes from the style guide. Okay, so this looks great. I think the footer also looks great. We're going to style it later on, but in terms of structure, I think this is great. The next section that I want to show you is this one here on this page here on the classes page. Let's go into the classes page. And here I'm going to do the same. I'm going to replace this video background, but we'll do this later on. We also see that we've pasted the team inside, not what we meant to do, pasted the team section inside of the header section. So let me see if we also, yeah, we have it 2 times. So this one, bad pasting, I'm just going to select the team section, delete it. Now we have the product, but for some reason the product is missing the product grid. So let's bring it back again. Let me delete the section products. It's going to go here, products 10 it was. Product 10. Okay, so this is this. Let's go ahead into the main wrapper, bring the product 10 and put it after the header section. Okay, so now we have it. Now, one thing that I wanted to show you is that here we have a grid of these items, which is helpful because we're going to use it for this. But actually what we need here is tabs element, because that's how we're going to use it to sort the classes. So for now, I'm not going to add the tabs. I'm going to do it when we get to it. But I wanted to show you that sometimes it's useful to use the component for the layout, but the functionality itself will need to be fixed and replaced. Okay, so now it's time to go ahead and do all of the copy and pasting of this whole text. So again, going back here, copy and pasting. This is going to be quite boring, and I don't want to record all of it for you. So you can either do it yourself or skip to the next video and start with the clonable of after I've already pasted all of this text into it and cleaned up the buttons so we can continue from